You're listening to the Business and Life Conversations podcast with Angela Henderson, episode 221. Hey there, you're listening to the Business and Life Conversations podcast. My name is Angela Henderson, and on this show, we talk about improving your business, life, or both by having amazing and rich conversations with brilliant guests who will inspire you and who will give you tips and tricks to help you grow both in life and in business. Well, hey there, you amazing human, and welcome back to another awesome episode of the Business and Life Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Ange, from Angela Henderson Consulting, where I'm an international award-winning business consultant and coach who has helped thousands of amazing women's business owners get all the pieces in place to have consistent 4- and 5-figure months and on to 6- and 7+ figure years without burning out in the process. Today is just a solo episode with you and I kicking back, talking about assessing what's expired in your life and making room for expansion. Expired. When I think about the definition of expired, it's 1, either to breathe one last breath, or 2, to come to an end. I looked it up on the, worldwide internet. That's what they told me. The definition is either 1, to breathe one last breath, or 2, to come to an end. Now, I know personally, when I open up my refrigerator, still to this day, there's probably, because I checked it before I recorded this, a variety of condiments like mustard, mayo, and salad dressing that date back to the 1900s. Okay, not really, but there is at least 150% shit in my fridge that is growing something and has been there for a very long time. Or I also checked out my baking cupboard, / pantry, whatever you choose to call it. And there's flour and sugar, maybe, hashtag yes it is, that I tell myself one day I'll throw out. It's still there, people. But this stuff, it's just the basics, day-to-day expiration type things that we all know expire. But what about the deeper stuff? The stuff we want to talk about, but turn a blind eye and hope that everything will be okay. But in fact, it's not. I want you to really start thinking about where you truly need to assess your life for what's expired in order for you to make room for expansion. Take, for example, me. I knew for a couple of years that my marriage of 20 years had expired. As per the definition that I mentioned above, quote unquote, it had come to an end. I knew deep down my husband and I had expired. I knew it was time to part ways. Doesn't mean that things weren't good before our relationship expired, but it no longer served us. I mean, take milk, for example. Milk is really good. Milk's really good for a long time, but when it expired, that shit is sour and it is no longer good. It no longer serves us. My marriage was dragging me down, stopping my growth. So I want you to take a minute again and assess different parts of your life and come to terms, when you're ready, of course, to accept that things have expired and then put a plan in place to make the changes. Why? Because whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. I say this damn quote all the time, because whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. By assessing all areas of your life as to what's expired, you shift your frequency and vibration. Now, if you've never heard about frequency and vibration, let me explain for you because it is super powerful. I love the way that Pamela Dontu had written about frequency and vibration, and I wanted to share this. So this is from her, and I quote, "We all vibrate energetically at a particular frequency. The lower the frequency, the denser your energy and the heavier your problem seen. Have you ever experienced pain and discomfort in your physical body and experienced heavy emotions and mental confusion? Physically, your energy is darker. You need to exert a great deal of effort to accomplish your goals. Overall, your life takes a negative quality when you're at that different frequency. But when you shift to the higher frequency of your energy and vibration, the lighter you feel in your physical, emotional, and mental bodies. You experience greater personal power, clarity, peace, love, and joy. You have little, if any, discomfort or pain in your physical body, and your emotions are easily dealt with. Your energy is literally full of light. Your life flows with synchronicity, and you manifest what you desire with ease. Overall, your life takes a positive quality. So when you're hanging on to things that expired, you're holding on to a lower energy where everything feels heavier, right? You may even experience that pain and discomfort in your physical body, your emotional component, your mental component, etc. So by assessing what's expired in life, we'll move you from a low frequency to a higher frequency. This also helps with money flow. Let me repeat this. This also helps with money flow. because you're vibrating at a higher frequency. So what can you assess to see what's expired in your life? One, I always say start with what's easy, and that is, and there's like a less emotional connectiveness. Start with doing a spring clean of your fridge, of your pantries, of your cupboards, of your clothes, of the shit in your garage. Get rid of everything that is expired. Again, getting rid of this will start to shift things for you. It frees your space from clutter and allows for new things to move in. 2, assess your relationships, both with your partner, family, friends, acquaintances. Do you have any relationships that have expired, where people cross boundaries, that are toxic, that no longer serve you? Where might you need to let go of people? Of course, not in a horrible way, but maybe you need to start pulling back. Maybe you need to mute people, unfollow people. This isn't always easy, but as someone who has had to take a break from my toxic mother and have not talked to her in over a decade, and someone who's also had to separate from my husband of 20 years, I promise you so much awesomeness comes from this. You will feel lighter, freer. Let me repeat that. You will feel lighter, freer. It is something that so many of us want, but yet so many will not choose to do. Number 3, you can assess the clients that you work with. Are there clients that you're hanging on to only because you need the money, but these clients message you at 10 p.m. at night demanding things, or they treat you poorly? You do not need these clients in your space. They are just going to bring you down, bring you to that lower frequency, stress you out, and you'll run, right? At that lower frequency that I'm talking about, meaning that you're more likely to attract shit clients, and you may even start to hate your business. Number 4, you could also look at softwares and services you use. Are you in a membership, or are you using software that you don't use anymore? This is another thing that is expired and no longer serves you. Cancel these things. But I will say this, please note, if you have signed a contract for a set amount of time, do not cancel that. That is bad vibes. That will actually lower your frequency instead of higher it. Honor the contract you signed and stay true to it. Make a note in your diary about when it's due to expire, and then cancel it. But if you're just in month-to-month situations, definitely let go of that shit now. So my friend, I encourage you to truly start assessing what is expired in your life, because when you do, you're going to make room for expansion, new relationships, new clients, new opportunities, new view on life, more money in the door. Why? Because you've shifted from that lower frequency to that higher frequency. Still don't know where to start? Just choose one of the things I mentioned today and go from there. Baby steps. And remember, this is something that needs to be ongoing in your world, because everything has an expiry date and everything is expiring on a daily basis, right? Again, you get to choose what you do with this information, but if things in life are holding you down, now take the opportunity to assess what has expired. And don't forget, I have 5 spots available for my Action Takers Mastermind. If you've been wanting to start working with me, but also wanted to be surrounded by an amazing group of women in business, then Action Takers Mastermind is where you want to be. And I encourage you to reach out and let's connect about whether or not it's the right mastermind for you. I keep my mastermind numbers small in order to nurture the relationships and to allow for a more intimate environment. I currently have 15 people in my mastermind, and there are 5 spots left in order for you to enroll currently. So if you're ready, reach out by heading to my website, angelahenderson.com.au, and click on the Contact Me form, and then you can fill that out, and then you and I will have a chat. Again, head to angelahenderson.com.au and click on the Contact button form and fill that form out. And before I sign off, please remember that my team and I will be putting together the show notes for this episode at angelahenderson.com.au. Have a fabulous day, you amazing human, and I look forward to you joining me next week for another awesome episode of the Business and Life Conversations podcast. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to the Business and Life Conversations podcast with Angela Henderson. www.angelahenderson.com.au